Chosen one, this is not a season for guessing. This is a season for discerning. The great blackout that's coming isn't just about darkness. It's about the silence before the move. It's about God pulling the plug on certain things so He can rewire everything in your favor. This is a prophetic shift, a divine interruption, a pause so powerful that it will reset the atmosphere for what's next. When God declares a blackout, it is never random. It's intentional, it's strategic, and it's always about preparation for light to break forth in a way that blinds the enemy and reveals your next chapter. Chosen one, I need you to lean in for this. I need you to pay attention until the very last word. And as you listen, I want you to carry your warmest wishes in your heart and write them in the comments alongside the number 144. Because in this prophetic blackout, the wishes and intentions you release will echo into the unseen, energizing the universe with the vibration of your faith. What you declare during this silence will plant seeds that erupt when the lights come back on. You have to understand, blackouts strip away distractions. They remove the noise. They make you confront what's been hidden in the light of busyness. When the world around you goes dim, the world within you starts speaking louder. This is why God is allowing it. There are voices He wants you to stop hearing and frequencies He wants you to start catching. The great blackout isn't punishment. It's positioning. It's about shutting down the false light, the things that seemed bright but drained you, so the true light can be revealed. The enemy thrives in confusion, in noise, in the rush. But when a blackout comes, the rush stops. The distractions fall silent. The illusions are exposed. In that stillness, you begin to see the moves God has been making all along. You begin to notice patterns you were too busy to see. And this time, you won't miss them. This time, you'll move with precision because you'll understand that this blackout is not a pause in your life. It's the hidden preparation for your next acceleration. Many people will panic in this season. They'll scramble to restore the familiar. They'll cling to old systems, old patterns, old sources of comfort. But you, chosen one, will not panic. You'll wait. You'll listen. You'll receive. Because you know the greatest moves of God often come when the world thinks nothing is happening. And when the light comes back on, you won't just return to the same room. You'll step into an entirely new space. In this blackout, God isn't just removing light. He's removing access. Certain people won't be able to reach you the way they used to. Conversations will dry up. Invitations will stop coming. It will feel like the world went silent around you. And at first, that silence might feel strange, even uncomfortable. But hear me, this is sacred isolation. This is God making sure no one contaminates what He's about to deposit into your spirit. You see, when light is everywhere, shadows are easy to hide in. That's why God sometimes turns the lights off, not to leave you in darkness, but to make the darkness in others impossible to hide. In this season, people's true motives will be revealed without them even realizing it. They'll expose themselves in their absence. Their silence will tell you everything their words never did. And you, chosen one, will start to see with spiritual clarity instead of emotional attachment. The great blackout is also about pulling you out of the crowd so you can hear God without interference. Too many voices have been competing for your attention. Too many opinions have been swirling around your destiny. And the truth is, even the well-meaning ones have been pulling you in directions you were never meant to go. This blackout will filter the frequency. Only His voice will matter, and only His direction will stand. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Just because the world slows down around you doesn't mean heaven has stopped moving for you. In fact, in this very silence, the loudest breakthroughs are being written. God is putting your name in rooms you haven't walked into yet. He's orchestrating alignments that will only make sense when the lights come back on. The blackout is the setup for the reveal. And when the reveal happens, it won't just shock your enemies, it will silence them. Chosen one, your role in this season is not to fight the blackout, but to lean into it. Withdraw from unnecessary noise. Guard your energy. Pay attention to the subtle nudges in your spirit. Some of the instructions God gives you in this period will not make sense in the natural, but they will be the exact keys to unlock what's coming. This is not the time to broadcast everything you hear. Some things you receive in this blackout will be for your heart alone until He says it's time. And remember, when God declares a great blackout, it means a great unveiling is next. When the blackout stretches longer than you expect, doubt tries to creep in. You might start asking yourself, "Did I hear God correctly?" You might look at the silence and think, "Maybe I've been forgotten." But chosen one, the truth is, heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven is incubating you. Think about it. When a seed is planted, it is covered in darkness before it ever sees the light. The soil hides it, protects it, and allows it to grow roots before it breaks the surface. The blackout you're in is the soil of your next season, and you can't rush this process without damaging the harvest. God is making sure your roots are strong enough to sustain the weight of the blessing He's about to drop on you. There are things He's preparing for you that need complete secrecy. If the wrong people knew about it now, they would try to sabotage it before it's ready. That's why He's hiding you in plain sight. Even those who think they know your next move will be surprised, because the real blueprint is being written in a place they can't access. During this blackout, pay close attention to what remains after everything else fades. Who's still checking in when you have nothing to give in return? What desires are still burning when the applause is gone? What dreams refuse to die even when you've had every reason to quit? These are the indicators of what God is protecting and what He's about to multiply. Understand this. The blackout is not punishment. It is preservation. God isn't keeping you in the dark because He's mad at you. He's keeping you in the dark because the light He's about to shine on you will be too great for your enemies to handle. And when that light comes, it won't just illuminate where you are. It will expose everything around you. Fake friendships, hidden agendas, silent competition, all of it will be seen for what it truly is. But here's the most important thing to grasp. When the lights come back on, you won't be the same person who went into the blackout. You'll come out sharper, stronger, wiser, and more untouchable than ever before. You will not just survive this. You will be unrecognizable to those who thought they had you figured out. And that's exactly the point. God is rewriting your entire narrative while the world can't see. When the divine unveiling begins, it won't be gradual. It will be sudden. One moment, it will feel like nothing is moving. The next, you'll be propelled into rooms, opportunities, and conversations that would have been impossible just weeks before. That's the nature of God's release. It happens in a moment, but it's built on years of hidden preparation. The world will call it overnight success. They'll say, "You came out of nowhere." But you'll know the truth. You came out of a blackout. And every second in that hidden space was sharpening your discernment, aligning your connections, and perfecting your gifts. The unveiling will not just be about your blessing, it will be about divine positioning. God is placing you where your influence will have the maximum impact, where your voice will shift atmospheres, and where your presence will dismantle demonic plans. This is why the blackout was necessary, because you can't carry that kind of weight without spiritual muscle. When God brings you out, it will be strategic. Every step will be aligned with His timing. The wrong doors won't even tempt you anymore, because you'll know they lead to dead ends. You won't be scrambling for validation, because you'll already have heaven's stamp of approval. You won't chase after opportunities, because the right ones will be divinely magnetized to you. And here's the beauty of it. When the unveiling happens, those who doubted you will be the ones repeating your name. The same mouths that spoke against you will be forced to speak of your success. But by then, their opinion won't matter, because you won't be standing on their acceptance. You'll be standing on God's assignment. This is not just about a personal comeback. This is about establishing a new spiritual order in your life. It's about showing the world what it looks like when someone refuses to quit during the silent seasons. It's about proving that the blackout was never the end. It was the setup for the kind of rise that can only be explained by God. So when you feel the shift, move. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for a perfect moment. The moment will already be perfect because God prepared it. And when the light hits you, remember, it's not just about being seen. It's about what you do with the spotlight He hands you. One of the first signs that the blackout is about to end is the increase in divine discomfort. Not the kind that comes from chaos, but the kind that comes from knowing you're outgrowing everything around you. Conversations feel smaller. Environments feel heavier. The things that once satisfied now feel hollow. That's not frustration. That's expansion. Your spirit is already stretching into the space God is about to place you in. Another sign is the sudden silence from certain voices. People who used to call, text, and check in suddenly fade. Relationships that were once constant become distant. Don't chase them. This is God clearing the atmosphere. Some connections were only meant to serve you in the waiting season, not in the revealing season. Their absence isn't loss, it's preparation. You'll also notice divine interruptions. Plans you thought were solid will suddenly change. Paths you thought you would take will suddenly close. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. God is guiding you into the exact position for His unveiling, and that often means removing even the good things that are no longer part of His best for you. Then comes the inner boldness. This is when you start speaking with more authority, even without trying. Your ideas feel sharper, your vision feels clearer, and your spirit refuses to settle for less than the fullness of what God promised. You're no longer just believing for it, you're preparing for it. That's the key difference. And finally, there's the stillness. Not the kind that feels like waiting, but the kind that feels like knowing. You can sense the shift coming, but you're not restless anymore. The urgency is there, but it's not frantic. It's focused. This is the sweet spot before the unveiling. When heaven has already decided, the earth is already shifting, and you're simply holding position until God says, "Now." These signs aren't random. They are heaven's countdown. They are confirmation that your blackout season is on its last breath. And when the light comes, it won't just illuminate your next step. It will illuminate every reason why you had to be hidden in the first place. When the unveiling begins, it rarely starts with fireworks. It's subtle, almost quiet, yet it carries a weight you can't ignore. It feels like the air around you changes. You'll notice people responding to you differently, opportunities finding you without you chasing, and doors opening that you never even knocked on. That's when you'll know. The blackout is breaking. The first thing you must do in that moment is stay anchored. It's tempting to run full speed into every open door, but not every open door is your door. Some are distractions disguised as opportunities, designed to pull you out of alignment just as God is positioning you for the real thing. Your discernment must be sharper than ever. Next, you must protect your oil. In other words, don't pour out your energy, wisdom, or resources into places God didn't assign you to. Not everyone who notices your light deserves access to it. Some people are drawn to the light not to walk in it, but to drain it. This is where your ability to say no will become as powerful as your ability to say yes. Then comes the instruction phase. God will begin giving you specific steps, sometimes small, sometimes radical. These won't always make sense to your logic, but they will align perfectly with His plan. This is where obedience becomes your currency. Every instruction you follow builds momentum for what's coming next. And as you walk through these steps, the resistance may increase. Don't be alarmed. Resistance is often the proof that you're moving in the right direction. The enemy can't stop God's unveiling, but he'll try to discourage you from stepping into it. This is where your faith must not just speak, it must stand. Finally, you must carry your unveiling with humility. The blackout wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It stripped you of pride, of false attachments, and of everything that would have sabotaged you in the light. Remember that you are not stepping into this moment because you earned it through human effort. You're stepping into it because God decided it was time. When you hold on to that truth, you move differently. You don't just enter rooms, you shift them. You don't just take opportunities, you transform them. And you don't just receive blessings, you become a blessing everywhere you go. The moment the blackout lifts, it won't just be you who notices. Everyone will. The shift will be so undeniable that even those who overlooked you before will have to acknowledge the change. It won't be because you announced it. It won't be because you tried to prove anything. It will be because the evidence is too loud to ignore. Conversations about you will start happening in rooms you've never entered. People you've never met will feel drawn to your work, your energy, your message. Some will think it happened overnight. They won't realize you've been in the shadows for years, preparing, building, being refined. But you'll know, and you'll remember that every moment of silence, every season of being overlooked, was worth it. In this unveiling, God isn't just returning you to the stage of life. He's elevating you to a platform that your old self could not have sustained. This is why the blackout had to happen. Without it, the weight of what's about to come could have crushed you. Now, you're stronger. Now, you're clear. Now, you're untouchable in the spirit. But with this elevation comes responsibility. You'll be entrusted with influence that has the power to shape lives, communities, even nations. The question will no longer be, when is it my time? It will be, how will I steward my time? This is the season where discipline will be your greatest ally. Opportunities will pour in, but not all of them will be divine assignments. Some will look good, sound good, even feel good, but they'll pull you off track. You must remember that your mission is not to chase everything that glitters. Your mission is to guard everything that's gold. And here's the most powerful part. As you step into this light, the same people who thought the blackout was your ending will witness that it was actually your beginning. Your rise will be living proof that nothing can stop what God has ordained. This isn't just a comeback. It's a divine reveal. And in this moment, Heaven will make sure that those who need to see you will see you, not for your sake, but for the sake of the mission you carry. When God decides to make something public, there's nothing subtle about it. The same world that scrolled past you, the same people who didn't return your calls, the same circles that acted like you didn't exist, will now have to watch your name rise like the sun. They won't be able to deny it, and they won't be able to stop it. This is the season where your work will speak before you even enter the room. Doors will swing open without you having to knock. Meetings will be set without you having to send a request. And the best part? These opportunities won't come with strings attached, because they're not from man, they're from God. The public proof of this blackout season will not just be your success. It will be the alignment. Everything will seem to move in perfect sync, the right people at the right time, the right resources in the right amounts, the right doors leading to the right places. It will feel almost surreal, like you've stepped into a reality you used to only dream about. And the beauty of it? You'll carry it all with humility, because the blackout taught you not to crave attention, but to steward it. You'll remember what it's like to be unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. You'll remember that applause fades, but purpose sustains. God will use your unveiling as a warning and an inspiration at the same time. A warning to those who underestimated the quiet seasons, thinking nothing was happening. And an inspiration to those still in the shadows right now, proving to them that their silence is not their sentence. It's their setup. This is why you must walk into this season prepared. The public stage is not the place to start figuring out who you are. That identity had to be forged in the dark, so that now, in the light, nothing and no one can make you forget it. Because once the blackout ends, you're not going back. You're not dimming your light to make anyone comfortable. You're not apologizing for what God is doing in your life. And you're not explaining His timing to people who weren't meant to understand it. When the reveal happens, it will be too big to hide, too loud to silence, too divine to deny. And the world will have no choice but to witness it, not as a coincidence, but as proof that the one who hid you is the same one now sending you. Once the blackout lifts, the pace will change. What used to take months will happen in days. What used to feel impossible will start falling into place without resistance. You'll feel like you're being carried by a current too strong to fight, and that's exactly the point. God's hand will be the momentum you can't slow down. This is when your name will start traveling faster than you can. People you've never met will speak highly of you in rooms you've never entered. Your influence will expand beyond your sight, and opportunities will arrive without a traceable source. Because heaven doesn't run on human networking. It runs on divine orchestration. But this momentum isn't just about your personal gain. Every breakthrough you experience will create ripple effects in other people's lives. Someone will find courage because they saw you stand. Someone will get the confirmation they prayed for because your story became the proof they needed. Someone will be reminded that God still moves because you let Him move through you. And here's what makes this season so different. You won't be scrambling to hold on to the blessings. You'll be moving so in sync with God that you'll know exactly what to release, exactly what to protect, and exactly what to multiply. This is where your voice gets louder, your presence gets heavier, and your vision gets clearer. The years of obscurity will suddenly make sense. They were the training ground for the weight you're about to carry. The speed of this season will shock you. Doors that were locked for years will open as if they never had a key. Conversations that used to end in rejection will now end in partnership. And victories that used to feel far away will stack on top of each other until you can't even keep track of them all. It won't just be a win here and there. It will be wave after wave, blessing after blessing, alignment after alignment, until you realize that the blackout wasn't a delay, it was the launch sequence. And once this launch begins, there is no going back. The same God who hid you is now sending you forward with a speed and force that no system, no person, no enemy can block. This is where the supernatural acceleration will almost feel unreal. You'll wake up and realize that the things you prayed for years ago have already been handled, without you even noticing when they happened. You'll see debts disappear, doors swing open, relationships restore, and resources flow in ways that make no earthly sense. It will be like God pressed fast forward on your destiny. What should have taken a decade will happen in a fraction of the time. And the beauty is, it won't drain you, it will energize you. Because you'll be moving in your exact lane, at your exact pace, carrying exactly what you were meant to carry. The enemy will try to convince you that this speed is too much, that you're not ready, that it's going to slip away. But the truth is, heaven has already prepared you. The quiet years, the long waits, the hidden seasons, they were all building the capacity for this exact acceleration. And as things move faster, you'll notice something powerful. You'll stop hustling for what's already yours. You won't be chasing, you'll be attracting. The right people will find you. The right platforms will open. The right connections will align. Because this isn't random. It's divine precision. You'll look back and see that every closed door was necessary. Every delay was strategic. And every no was actually a divine yes in disguise. The blackout didn't just protect you. It set the stage for this exact explosion of favor. From this point forward, the blessings will start to feel layered. A new opportunity will bring not just one answer to prayer, but 3. A single yes will open 5 other yeses. And the most powerful part? You won't just be receiving, you'll be overflowing into others. Your acceleration will create acceleration for everyone connected to you. By the time this phase is in full motion, you won't even recognize the version of you that went into the blackout. The heaviness will be gone. The hesitation will be gone. The limits will be gone. You'll be standing in the exact reality God promised you. Only, it will be bigger, richer, and more complete than you imagined. And once this starts, nothing and no one can put it in reverse. This is when the shift becomes visible to everyone, even those who doubted, mocked, or counted you out. The same people who whispered about your absence will now be forced to witness your arrival. They won't be able to deny it. The elevation will be too clear, the transformation too complete, the favor too loud. What God is doing in this season isn't small, and it isn't subtle. It's intentional. Your life will become a living testimony of what happens when someone listens, obeys, and trusts the process, even when the process feels like isolation. You'll start to walk into rooms and feel the atmosphere bend in your favor. Conversations will shift the moment you open your mouth. Opportunities will come not because you begged for them, but because your very presence demands them. This is also the moment when your name will begin to travel farther than your feet. People you've never met will speak about you in rooms you've never entered. Your work, your gift, your obedience will go ahead of you and prepare the ground before you even arrive. This isn't networking. This is divine broadcasting. And here's the truth. Not everyone will celebrate. Some will pretend not to notice. Others will act like it's no big deal. But deep down, they'll know. God's hand is all over you. They'll remember the version of you who was hidden, and they'll realize that the same God who shielded you in the blackout is now spotlighting you for His glory. In this stage, you won't just be walking into blessings, you'll be walking in authority. The waiting season taught you patience. The hidden season taught you discernment. The acceleration taught you trust. And now, the public season will teach you stewardship. You will carry influence without arrogance. You will hold power without manipulation. You will walk in abundance without losing humility. Because your victory isn't just about you winning, it's about showing others that victory is possible through obedience and faith. And as you move through this season, your story will pull others out of their own dark seasons. Your victory will become their hope. Your glow will become their guide. And without even trying, you'll be leading others into the same kind of breakthrough that once felt impossible to you. This is not just a win. This is the victory day God marked in heaven long before you saw it on earth. When God moves you into the overflow, it's no longer about simply having enough. It's about carrying more than enough, so you can pour into others without fear of lack. This is the moment when you'll realize the blackout wasn't just for your protection, it was for your preparation. He was building the capacity in you to hold blessings big enough to feed nations, not just yourself. The overflow is not random. It's targeted. It's strategic. It flows to where it will multiply. And God has chosen you as one of His distribution points. Every lesson from your hidden season now becomes currency. Every tear, every delay, every no you endured becomes a seed you can plant into someone else's life. This is where your words carry weight, because they're not theory, they're proof. When you speak about resilience, it's because you've lived it. When you speak about faith, it's because you've held on to it in the dark. And when you speak about God's timing, it's because you've experienced firsthand how He makes everything beautiful in its season. People will begin to find rest under the shade of the very tree you once thought was buried in darkness. Strangers will be blessed by fruits you didn't even realize were growing. And here's the thing, you won't have to force it. You won't have to chase people down. The same way blessings began to find you, people will now begin to find you. And this is where legacy is born. Not in the applause, not in the headlines, but in the quiet moments where someone whispers, "Because of you, I didn't give up." Legacy is when your story becomes a lifeline for someone else's faith. But with this overflow comes responsibility. You cannot afford to shrink back now. You cannot afford to treat this season casually. The same discipline that kept you in the blackout must follow you into the light. Because overflow can be wasted if it's not stewarded well, and God did not bring you this far for waste. So you will keep moving forward with intention. You will keep listening for His voice. You will keep discerning where to pour and where to protect. And as you do, you'll notice something. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you pour out, the more He fills you. The more you trust, the more He multiplies. Because this isn't just a victory for today, this is the kind of victory that echoes into generations. What started in the blackout will now live in the light forever.